Now we arrive at the fruit that earned the number 2 spot on this list. And the reason it ranks this high has nothing to do with its antioxidant content in general. It has to do with one specific compound and one specific function that no other fruit on this list can perform. Blueberries. Blueberries contain a molecule called pterostilbene. Structurally, pterostilbene is similar to resveratrol, the compound found in red wine that has received decades of attention for its anti-aging properties. But pterostilbene has one critical advantage. It is absorbed into your bloodstream approximately 4 times more efficiently than resveratrol, according to research published in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research. That means more of it reaches your muscle cells in active form, and more of it can do what it was designed to do. Once inside your muscle cells, pterostilbene activates a protein called sirtuin-1. Researchers have called sirtuin-1 the longevity protein because of its central role in cellular health and aging. In muscle tissue specifically, sirtuin-1 is a master regulator of mitochondrial function. When activated, it triggers a chain of events that results in the creation of brand new, healthy mitochondria to replace the damaged, leaky ones that have been dragging your muscle cells down for years. This process is called mitochondrial biogenesis, and it is one of the most powerful things you can do for aging muscle. Fresh, efficient mitochondria produce more cellular energy with less oxidative waste. More energy means the muscle cell can power its protein synthesis machinery at full capacity. Less oxidative waste means less damage to the growth signaling proteins that tell your muscles to rebuild. The muscle cell essentially becomes younger in its metabolic function, even as the body continues to age. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that blueberry consumption improved markers of mitochondrial function in skeletal muscle while simultaneously reducing oxidative stress markers. The muscles were producing more energy and generating less damage at the same time. Blueberries also dramatically improve blood flow to muscle tissue. Their anthocyanins stimulate nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls, dilating the vessels and increasing the delivery of oxygen and amino acids. This complements the citrulline-mediated vasodilation from watermelon, giving you 2 independent mechanisms for improving the nutrient highway that feeds your muscles. But here is the mechanism that elevates blueberries above nearly every other fruit on this list. They protect the neuromuscular junction. This is the connection point between your motor nerves and your muscle fibers. And it is the most overlooked aspect of sarcopenia that almost nobody talks about. Every voluntary movement you make, from lifting a cup to climbing stairs, starts with an electrical signal from your brain that travels down a motor nerve to the neuromuscular junction. At that junction, the nerve releases a chemical called acetylcholine that triggers the muscle fiber to contract. After 60, these junctions deteriorate progressively. The nerve terminals shrink. Acetylcholine release becomes unreliable. The number of acetylcholine receptors on the muscle side declines. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 1 in 4 Americans over 65 falls each year, and falls are the leading cause of injury-related death among older adults. Most people assume this is a balance problem or an inner ear problem, but research increasingly shows it is largely a neuromuscular junction problem. The muscles that maintain posture and balance are losing their nerve connections. Muscle fibers that lose their neural connection cannot be voluntarily activated. They sit idle and eventually atrophy regardless of how much protein you eat or how many exercises you perform. You could theoretically maintain your total muscle mass through perfect nutrition, but if the neuromuscular junctions are deteriorating, you would still become weaker, slower, and less coordinated, because muscle without a working nerve connection is functionally dead weight. Blueberry compounds protect these junctions by reducing oxidative damage and inflammation at the junction site. The mitochondria inside the nerve terminals, which provide the energy for acetylcholine synthesis and release, are protected by the pterostilbene-induced mitochondrial renewal we just discussed. The result is more reliable neural activation of muscle fibers, better force production, better coordination, and better balance. Research published in the Journals of Gerontology found that blueberry supplementation improved neuromuscular function as measured by grip strength, walking speed, and balance in aged subjects. These functional improvements occurred even in the absence of changes in muscle size, which confirms that the benefit is coming from better neural control of existing muscle, not just more muscle tissue. 1 to 2 cups of frozen wild blueberries daily is the ideal amount. Wild blueberries contain roughly double the anthocyanin concentration of cultivated varieties, according to research from the Wild Blueberry Association. Frozen blueberries retain all the bioactive compounds and cost a fraction of fresh. Add them to your morning smoothie, mix them into oatmeal, or eat them straight from the bag as a simple snack. And now we have reached the number one fruit for building muscle and stopping sarcopenia after 60. And it is going to surprise you. It is not exotic, it is not expensive, it is not hard to find. It has been sitting in your kitchen your entire life. The common orange. Oranges do not have a single headline-grabbing molecule. They do not have the mystique of pomegranate or the novelty of goji berries. But when you understand what oranges provide and how those compounds work together, you will see why they belong at the very top of this list. Oranges are the most concentrated, commonly consumed fruit source of hesperidin, a flavonone found almost exclusively in citrus fruits. And hesperidin has a specific, well-documented effect on skeletal muscle that is unlike anything provided by any other fruit we have discussed. Hesperidin activates the AMP-activated protein kinase pathway in skeletal muscle. This is the cellular energy sensor that coordinates the balance between energy consumption and energy production inside the muscle cell. When AMP-activated protein kinase is properly activated, it promotes mitochondrial biogenesis, increases fatty acid oxidation to clean up the toxic lipids that cause insulin resistance, and primes the cell for subsequent growth signaling. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition found that hesperidin supplementation improved muscle function and reduced muscle fatigue in older adults. The improvements were attributed to enhanced mitochondrial efficiency and reduced oxidative stress in muscle tissue. But hesperidin does something else that directly addresses the sarcopenia equation. It suppresses myostatin. Myostatin is a protein produced by muscle cells that acts as a brake on muscle growth. In young, healthy muscle, myostatin keeps growth in check so muscles do not become disproportionately large. But after 60, myostatin levels increase, and the brake becomes too strong. The muscle cannot grow even when the growth signals and raw materials are present. Research published in the journal Nutrients demonstrated that hesperidin reduced myostatin expression in skeletal muscle tissue while simultaneously increasing the expression of muscle growth factors. The net effect was a shift in the balance from breakdown to building. This dual action, cleaning up mitochondria through AMP-activated protein kinase while releasing the myostatin brake, makes hesperidin one of the most comprehensive natural muscle-supporting compounds ever identified in nutritional science. Oranges also contain nobiletin, a compound found primarily in the peel and the white pith. Nobiletin activates the sirtuin-1 pathway, the same longevity pathway that pterostilbene from blueberries activates, but through a different molecular entry point. That means oranges and blueberries provide complementary rather than duplicate sirtuin-1 activation. A study published in the journal Metabolism found that nobiletin improved mitochondrial function and reduced fat accumulation in skeletal muscle tissue. Beyond these specialized compounds, oranges deliver approximately 70 milligrams of vitamin C per medium fruit. As we discussed with kiwi, vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis in tendons and connective tissue. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that vitamin C before exercise doubled the rate of collagen synthesis in tendon tissue. But oranges go further. Their flavonoids, particularly hesperidin and naringenin, have been shown to reduce the activity of matrix metalloproteinase enzymes that break down collagen in tendons. By suppressing tendon collagen degradation while simultaneously supporting tendon collagen synthesis through vitamin C, oranges provide comprehensive tendon protection. And tendon protection keeps you exercising safely and consistently, which is the single most important factor in long-term muscle growth at any age. Oranges provide folate, which reduces homocysteine levels associated with reduced muscle function and increased sarcopenia risk. They provide potassium for acid-base buffering, joining bananas and avocados in maintaining the alkaline environment that favors muscle growth. And they deliver all of this at the lowest cost and highest availability of any fruit on this entire list. You can eat 2 to 3 oranges every single day without straining your budget. You can find them in any grocery store, in any season, in any part of the country. That accessibility is not a minor detail. It is the reason oranges earn the #1 spot. The best exercise program, the best protein diet, and the most powerful fruit all share one thing in common. They only work if you do them consistently. And you cannot be consistent with something that is expensive, hard to find, or difficult to prepare. Oranges remove every barrier to consistency. Eat them whole whenever possible, rather than just drinking the juice. The white pith contains the highest concentrations of hesperidin and nobiletin, and the fiber slows the absorption of natural sugars, preventing the blood sugar spikes that pure juice can cause. The American Diabetes Association notes that whole fruit is always preferable to juice because of the fiber content and more gradual glycemic response. Now let me show you what happens when all 10 fruits are working together in your body. The inflammatory blockade preventing your muscles from responding to protein is being suppressed by tart cherry anthocyanins, goji berry, polysaccharides, papaya beta-cryptoxanthin, and blueberry pterostilbene. 4 fruits silencing inflammation through 4 different molecular pathways. The insulin resistance weakening the growth signal is being reversed by avocatin B from avocados and hesperidin from oranges through AMP-activated protein kinase activation and toxic lipid clearance. The damaged mitochondria poisoning your muscle cells from the inside are being removed by urolithin A from pomegranate and replaced by fresh mitochondria stimulated by pterostilbene from blueberries and hesperidin from oranges. The protein digestion bottleneck wasting your amino acids is being opened by actinidin from kiwi and papain from papaya. The blood flow restriction, starving your muscles of nutrients, is being reversed by citrulline from watermelon and anthocyanins from blueberries. The acid-base imbalance dissolving muscle protein is being buffered by potassium from bananas, avocados, and oranges. The myostatin brake preventing new growth is being released by hesperidin from oranges. The growth hormone decline reducing overnight repair is being addressed by goji berry polysaccharides. The neuromuscular junctions connecting your nerves to your muscles are being protected by blueberry compounds, and the creatine deficit reducing your muscles' explosive power is being corrected by betaine from goji berries. Every pathway, every bottleneck, every mechanism of sarcopenia, addressed by at least one fruit, usually 2 or 3 working through independent molecular targets. And here is the practical reality. You do not need to eat all 10 fruits every single day. You need to eat them consistently across each week, rotating through them so that over 7 days your body receives all 10 compounds regularly. Some days you eat watermelon and blueberries. Other days you have pomegranate and papaya. Bananas, kiwis, and oranges are easy enough to eat daily. Avocado goes with lunch. Goji berries and tart cherries can alternate as evening additions. The total daily fruit intake in this approach amounts to approximately 3 to 5 servings per day, depending on which fruits you choose, well within the dietary guidelines published by the United States Department of Agriculture, which recommends 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit daily for adults over 60. These fruits do not replace protein. They do not replace exercise. The National Institute on Aging recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week, combined with muscle-strengthening activities at least 2 days per week for adults over 65. What these fruits do is make both protein and exercise work the way they are supposed to work in a body over 60. Protein is the brick. Exercise is the blueprint. These 10 fruits are the entire construction crew that makes the building possible. Now you understand more about how fruit builds muscle than almost anyone you know. Use this knowledge. Start with whichever fruits feel easiest and most affordable. Add 1 or 2 to your daily routine this week. Build from there. Consistency over weeks and months is what transforms these individual compounds into a comprehensive muscle protection system. If this video was helpful, please tap the like button and share it with someone you care about. A parent, a friend, a spouse, anyone over 60 who is doing everything right with protein and exercise but still wondering why they keep getting weaker. The answer might not be what they are eating. It might be what they are missing. And now you know exactly what to add. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. Take care of yourself, eat your fruits, protect your muscles. And remember, getting older does not have to mean getting weaker. With the right daily habits, your strongest years can still be ahead of you.